Hi, I'm Erica and I live fully off-grid with my husband and 2 kids. Today I'm going to share some of the improvements that we've made to our off-grid cabin since we moved here about 4 months ago. Changing out the toilet was not on our radar before we moved in, but pretty much the day we moved in, Mark decided we needed a new toilet because the one that was there was horrible. And new toilets are not very expensive. I think the one we got was about $100, just a very simple, straightforward one. He did the switch in an hour or 2, and now we have a toilet that works great. The shower, on the other hand, we knew would need to be replaced pretty quickly. Had these large cracks in the walls. Some of them were siliconed, some of them weren't. There's a lot of bad staining from years of use with hard water. And now there's a water softener installed, so that's not going to happen once we put in a new shower. It won't get that ugly yellow staining. So Mark, of course, had to take out the old shower first. And we were just hoping and praying that there wasn't a mountain of mold behind these walls, because with those cracks you just don't know how much water is getting behind there and how long ago that started. It's just all a huge mystery until you rip it out.
Hallelujah.
Yay! Nothing crazy.
Not too bad, but we'll have to wait and see what's underneath there here.
Yeah, actually.
But basically nothing was coming through this crack.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I hope that was the case.
We were amazed and so thankful that there was not much mold, at least on that wall. Tons of black nasty stuff. I don't know if that was mold or just grime in the shower base, but Mark was able to cut away the nasty part from the plywood and from these other areas here and just replace them quite simply. You'll notice here that the plumbing isn't right in the wall. It's in this little frame, so that makes the shower a little wonky. You've got this piece that sticks out, but that's how they did it, and we were in it for a quick fix, so we don't mind how that looks. And in the future, when we do more major renovations, we'll probably plumb right into the wall if we can, but for now, this was plenty good for us. After attaching and leveling everything, Mark is caulking everywhere to seal it up. The old junk is going to the dump, and it's looking great. We still got a little bit of work there on the left. You can see where that frame is. It's got to be finished up, but for now it is usable and so nice and new and clean, and we love it. The cell service here is really bad, and we've learned to work around that for the most part. We can use internet messaging and video calls and calling apps to talk to family or communicate with community or church groups and things like that. But there are times where you just need to be able to make a phone call and it's really nice when that connection stays and doesn't drop over and over. So we decided we needed to get a cell booster. We bought a pretty affordable one on Amazon, and Mark's installing it here. So you saw him putting one end up high on the roof. He ran a wire down. He drilled a hole through the wall, ran it into the kitchen, across the kitchen ceiling here, into the loft, and around to the bottom of the stairs by the front door. We still don't have amazing service, but there's definitely more spots in the house now where we can make a phone call and be confident that it won't drop. So I'd say this is a decent cell booster, nothing super great or powerful, but it will improve your cell service, and I'll link it below if you're interested. The stove part of this range worked just fine, but the oven did not. And as a mom who tries to cook everything from scratch, that was not okay for me. I needed a reliable oven. And so we considered repairing this one, but then figured the oven itself is really small, so we'll just get a bigger one. And being off-grid, we had to consider the amount of electricity that the range would use when picking one. Most ranges nowadays have a lot of electronic parts and features. So after doing quite a bit of research, we narrowed it down to really only 2 options that were within our budget, and we were not looking for anything fancy. So the first option was the same exact black stove, but just 6 inches wider. And that brand is called Unique, and it's made for off-grid. And so there's literally no electricity required. Our other option was this white stove, which I would have honestly preferred the black color, but I'm used to the white now. But we chose this one because it was significantly cheaper, and it was the same width as the Unique black one, but had significantly more oven space. And so it was the oven space that won for me. This is a natural gas stove that came with a kit for converting it to propane. So that's what you saw Mark doing, was converting the stove to propane because that's what we have. Then he turned off the propane line, disconnected the old stove, took that out, and then we brought in the new one. Now this one does require a little bit of electricity just to ignite the burners, but technically we don't need to use that feature. We could just turn the propane onto the burner and then light it with a match or a lighter. It takes a little electricity that we just use the knobs anyway, and it's fine. Then also the oven light does require some electricity too, but we rarely need to use that, so again, no big deal. So Mark just finished connecting the propane line to the stove, and I put some Sunlight dish soap and a little bit of water in the spray bottle. He's going to spray it on, check for leaks, make sure it's not leaking out. So if there were any leaks, the dish soap would be bubbling up and we would be able to see the bubbles quite clearly. But there wasn't anything, so we were good to go. This is what our entryway looked like after moving in. Really not ideal as far as storage goes. So we decided to make some changes there. And we also had a few things that we had in our previous house in the entryway that I thought would work really well in this house. So I started cleaning down some of the spaces where we were going to hang some hooks, and Mark worked on removing some screws that were left behind and adding in a round mirror and a shelf. I love mirrors because they bounce around the light in a room, make it brighter, make it feel larger. It's a simple, easy way to improve a bare wall. This little wooden shelf may look like just any other wooden shelf, but it actually has some history in our family. It was part of a hutch that belonged to Mark's grandmother, and we acquired the hutch, and the top part was totally falling apart. And so Mark took off a piece and refinished it, and we got some black metal brackets from Amazon, attached it, and now it's just this nice little skinny shelf where I can put a couple of simple pieces of decor and whatever else we want. I found this set of hooks on Amazon. The piece of wood has a very similar wood tone to the little shelf under the mirror, and also has the black hooks which match the black shelf brackets. So I thought it would go well. I wanted quite a few hooks since there's 4 of us and we've got jackets and hats and scarves. So this was a good solution. I'll put the link to the hooks as well as the shelf brackets down below if you'd be interested in those. We got 2 sets of the hooks, 1 for each side. I'm considering getting a 3rd to go above this lower one for the kids, but we'll see. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment down below. What are your thoughts about what improvements we should make next to this cabin? We've got a lot of ideas, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.